Welcome to the American Indian and Alaska Native Head Start Family and Child Experiences Survey, AIAN FACES 2019 Study Introduction Webinar. I'm Laura Hord with the Office of Planning, Research, and Evaluation, or OPRE, who is funding Mathematica policy research to carry out this effort. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that callers will be muted for the webinar. If you have questions, we'll answer those at the end of the webinar, and you can use the questions panel on the right of your screen. We will get to those questions after the prepared slides are completed. This webinar will be recorded and available on the OPRE AIAN FACES website in the future. Now I will introduce you to Angie Godfrey, the Regional Program Manager, Office of Head Start, Region 11.
Thank you so much, Laura. I really appreciate being here today, and I want to thank all of you for being here today. We are learning so much from the 2015 FACES, and I would like to thank all of you who are joining today to learn how we each can contribute to the success of the 2019 FACES. So thank you for being here today, and I look forward to the webinar and to learning with the rest of you. I would like to introduce Drs. Michelle Sarche and Elizabeth Malone, who will be our presenters today. Dr. Sarche is an associate professor at the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus at the Centers for American Indian and Alaska Native Health. Dr. Malone is a senior survey researcher at Mathematica Policy Research and the AIAN FACES project lead. Both Dr. Sarche and Malone have been involved with the AIAN FACES study from the start. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Michelle.
Thank you, Angie, and welcome everybody. I'm going to start us off today by sharing some background information about AIAN FACES and the importance of nationally representative data like FACES for Region 11 Head Start. I'm then going to turn it over to Lisa Malone, who will be previewing what's coming next for AIAN FACES 2019. So the Head Start Family and Child Experiences Survey, or FACES, is an important source of national data on Head Start children, families, and programs. FACES data are used to inform our understanding of Head Start children's development, the needs of Head Start children and families, and the characteristics of Head Start programs across the country. The picture to the left shows the cover from an Office of Planning, Research, and Evaluation report that presents data that were gathered in the fall of 2014. These data and data like it from previous years have been used by the Office of Head Start programs themselves, and others to inform Head Start policy and practice decisions. Although FACES data have been available for Head Start programs in regions 1 through 10 on a regular basis since 1997, until 2015, FACES did not include data from Region 11 programs, children, and families. Region 11 serves children and families in Head Start programs funded by grants to federally recognized tribes or consortia of tribes across the country. During the 2016-2017 program year, there were 156 Region 11 Head Start programs in 26 states across the country, serving 19,747 children and their families. The majority of these children were American Indian and Alaska Native, but some of them were not. Prior to their inclusion in FACES in 2015, Region 11 Head Start program leaders, federal staff, and researchers all recognized the significance of this information gap for Region 11. Head Start program leaders in particular, through consultation with the Office of Head Start, advocated that Region 11 programs should also have nationally representative data to inform their own policy and practice decisions. To ensure that Region 11 priorities were addressed, a work group was formed in 2013 to advise on the inclusion of Region 11 Head Start programs in FACES for the first time. As the quadrants of this figure show, 4 groups were represented on the AIAN FACES 2015 work group. Region 11 Head Start directors, early childhood researchers, ACF federal staff from the Office of Head Start and the Office of Planning, Research, and Evaluation, and the research partner responsible for carrying out the study, Mathematica Policy Research. The work group provided specific guidance on the study design, how to carry out the study in culturally informed ways, and guidance on interpreting and sharing study findings. The work group in designing the study prioritized 3 study goals, and those were to understand the cultural and linguistic experiences of AIAN children and families in Region 11, to provide an accurate picture of the strengths and needs of all Region 11 children and families, and to understand the development of all Region 11 children over the course of one Head Start year. By addressing these 3 study goals, AIAN FACES provides Region 11 an important source of nationally representative information to identify successes as well as opportunities for growth, and to inform policy and practice decisions that support Region 11 children's native cultural and language experiences, the strengths and needs of Region 11 children and families, and to support children's development. In addition, the work group saw the availability of these data as an opportunity to grow the research base by making a restricted use data set available to qualified researchers who would need to apply for and be granted access to the data following rigorous review criteria that were developed by the work group and aligned with the tribal approvals for each of the participating programs in the 2015 AIAN FACES study. So we've referred to AIAN FACES as being nationally representative. I wanted to clarify what that means. Nationally representative means that AIAN FACES findings represent the average experience of all Region 11 children, even those who were not included in the study. Because findings represent the average experience of all Region 11 children across the country, individual child and program experiences will of course vary from that average experience. AIAN FACES accomplishes a nationally representative study because programs and children are randomly selected to take part. And with information provided by this randomly selected sample, the study provides estimates of the full population value that are unbiased. A high response rate from randomly selected programs and children and the use of specially constructed weights for data analysis help ensure that the findings remain nationally representative and unbiased. In addition to being nationally representative, AIAN FACES data also provide precise estimates. By including a large enough sample of children in the study, we can say with statistical confidence that the study estimates, again, based on that randomly selected population, are reasonably close to the full population value we would have gotten if we had data from everyone in the full Region 11 population. So Lisa is going to talk more about this idea of being nationally representative shortly when she shares what's to come for AIAN FACES 2019, which is really the focus of our webinar today. Because AIAN FACES are representative of the entire population of children served, they are a critical source of information for programming, policy, and research. The Office of Head Start can understand national programming trends to inform targeted technical assistance, resource requests, and policy planning. Head Start grantees themselves can compare their own local data to national data to understand their program performance in context and to inform grant or other funding applications. And researchers can add to the literature and share findings with Native communities about children's experience and development in Region 11 Head Start. Findings from AIAN FACES 2015 are available now. Currently, there is a first findings webinar recording available, a technical report that has a comprehensive set of data tables, as well as the application materials for any researchers who would like to request access to the restricted use data set. And again, that does involve an application process and rigorous review before any access is granted. Coming soon are 4 briefs that use the data from the technical report to make it much more accessible and user-friendly. And those briefs include, or will include, a portrait of Region 11 children and families in the fall of the 2015-2016 Head Start year, a brief on Region 11 children's progress over the course of that same 2015-2016 Head Start year, and then 2 briefs focused specifically on Region 11 children's cultural and language experiences, both in their homes and communities, which is the focus of one brief, and then in their classrooms and programs, which is the focus of the other brief. All findings, including those that are available now, as well as those briefs that I just mentioned that will be available soon, can be found at the ACF AIAN FACES website, which can also be found by Googling AI//AN FACES. So before turning things over to Lisa, and on behalf of the entire work group, I wanted to thank the 21 Region 11 programs who took part in AIAN FACES 2015. Please know that your willingness to take part in that first ever AIAN FACES study has laid the groundwork for our continued work and is really the foundation upon which things are going to be built from here on out. With that, I am going to turn things over to Lisa, who is going to talk more about AIAN FACES 2019.
Thank you, Michelle. Now that we've heard about the importance of nationally represented data for Region 11 Head Start and background on AIAN FACES, I'd like to share what is to come for the next round of AIAN FACES. As demonstrated by the AIAN FACES study logo on this slide, the study conducted in 2015 serves as the foundation for AIAN FACES 2019. AIAN FACES 2019 will provide the latest information about Region 11 and reflect the current policy and program practices. Similarities with AIAN FACES 2015 will allow us, though, then to look at trends over time between 2015 and 2019. The work group continues and is discussing lessons learned and ways to enhance the information gathered for 2019, in particular on Native language and culture. On this slide, we show the AIAN FACES 2019 study timeline. To the far left, this is where we are at now for fall 2018 to begin program recruitment, including local Native community approval. Programs selected for the study will be contacted this fall, with program recruitment continuing through spring 2019. Data collection will begin next fall in fall 2019 with child and family data collection and continue in spring 2020, repeating child family data collection and also looking at teacher, classroom, and programs as well. In the summer of 2020, we hope to begin analysis and reporting based on the data collected in the 2019-2020 program year. And by 2021, that is the goal for restricted use data being available for qualified researchers, as Michelle noted previously. 22 Region 11 Head Start programs will be randomly selected to participate among all grantees in Region 11. Programs that participated in 2015 are eligible to be selected again. However, given it is a new random sample, past participation does not mean one automatically will be in this round, but they continue to be eligible. Participation is voluntary for both programs and individuals within programs. Protocols for tribal review will be followed in each community. If a program declines, another program will be selected and asked to participate. Centers, classrooms within centers, and children within those classrooms will be randomly selected. And as shown in the pyramid on this slide, we will randomly select those 22 programs and expect to sample 37 centers within those programs, 80 classrooms within those centers, and across those classrooms, 800 children and parents would be randomly selected to participate. That is expecting that on average 10 children for each of the 80 classrooms selected. AIAN FACES will be representative of all children served by Region 11. As shown in this pie chart, in the 2016-2017 program year, 85% of children in Region 11 are American Indian or Alaska Native, and the other 15% of children in Region 11 are not American Indian or Alaska Native. We will be collecting data, again, to represent all children in Region 11, and for AIAN FACES 2019, similar to AIAN FACES 2015, this data will come from multiple sources. Starting on the left of this slide, under the picture of a computer screen, we are conducting surveys. In the fall and spring, parents will be asked to complete surveys about their children, themselves, and their family and community life. Parent surveys will be available on the web and by phone. In the spring only, there will be surveys with center directors, program directors, and teachers about the program and staff experiences. These surveys will be available on the web or can be completed on hard copy. Moving to the next column, a second source will be child assessments in the fall and spring, which, as shown in the picture of two individuals at a table, will be conducted one-on-one with a trained assessor. The assessment will include measures of children's cognitive, socio-emotional, and physical development. Next, a third source of data will be teacher-child reports completed in the fall and spring. As shown in the picture of the clipboard and pencil, these are short checklists that the classroom teacher completes for each AIAN FACES selected child to gather information on the child's socio-emotional development and developmental needs, such as diagnosed disabilities. A fourth source of data to the far right under the magnifying glass will be classroom observations, which will be conducted in the spring by a trained observer visiting the classroom. As part of that visit, the observation will gather information on classroom experiences, teacher-child interactions, and native culture and language experiences. As Michelle shared earlier, the work group prioritized 3 study goals for AIAN FACES 2015. Those 3 study goals are maintained for 2019 and allow us to answer the following questions. What are the cultural and linguistic experiences of AIAN children and families in Region 11? What are the strengths and needs of all children and families served by Region 11? What is the development of all children served by Region 11 over the course of one Head Start year? In addition, a fourth question we can look to answer is AIAN FACES will also let us look at trends across time and the studies between 2015 and 2019. Like in this picture of a Region 11 child and teacher putting together a puzzle, we want to use the pieces of data collected to provide a picture of Region 11 as a whole. So, how can Region 11 programs use the data? Participating programs will not get program level information. This is in order to protect individual participant confidentiality and because data will not be representative at the individual program level. Because the study represents Region 11 as a whole, the Office of Head Start can use findings to provide resources to address identified needs based on the data and make changes to policy and practice to better meet the needs. Individual programs in Region 11 can use study findings to think about how their program might be similar or different to the AIAN FACES picture. They can use data on Region 11 as a whole from AIAN FACES and their own data to support the need for additional resources and services. Individual programs also can use this data as it provides an opportunity to think about what other information they want to know and may explore this more within their own program. How may others use the data? As Michelle discussed earlier, making AIAN FACES data available to qualified researchers was a priority identified by the work group Region 11 Head Start directors. ACF and the 2015 work group have established procedures informed by tribal practices of data access and review to be sure to address tribal concerns about who will be granted access and how and when to include tribal input on the data use and findings. While an individual program or community will not grant access, ACF has implemented, along with the work group, data protections to remove all tribal or direct identifiers, data access via the ACF Data Archive application, which will be reviewed by a committee comprised of tribal representatives and researchers with experience working with tribal communities. And data transparency via committee review of dissemination materials and an ACF annual report on the institutions and research organizations granted access to the data. So what is next for AIAN FACES 2019? As presented in the study timeline earlier, we are beginning program recruitment this fall. In the next month, the randomly selected programs will receive AIAN FACES 2019 study invitation letters. These letters will be sent to the Head Start Program Director by email from Mathematica. Mathematica and a member of the work group will follow up with a phone call shortly thereafter. For programs selected, watch for the AIAN FACES study logo and Mathematica logo presented on this slide to know these materials are asking for your help. For more information on AIAN FACES, you may contact Meryl Borofsky and Laura Hord, our federal project officers at ACF, or myself, Elizabeth Malone at Mathematica Policy Research. You may also go to the AIAN FACES website listed here, or as Michelle noted, you could Google AI/AN FACES. We hope you're curious to learn more, like in the picture here, of Region 11 children climbing on snow mounds. And now I'd like to turn it back over to Angie Godfrey, the Regional Program Manager from the Office of Head Start, Region 11.
Thank you so much, and I hope that everyone enjoyed and learned a lot, both about the data that's available for everyone to use from the 2015 study, and that you will be more interested and more able to respond to what's happening in the 2019 study. It's so important to have such a thoughtful process, gathering information specifically about children and families served in AIAN programs that can be looked at nationally. So I wish to thank everyone for joining us today, and of course, thank all of the presenters and the AIAN FACES work group, and thank you for being with us today.
If you have a question, please type it into the question box at the bottom of the GoToWebinar screen. So we just got one question in. Lisa, I think this is for you. When will selected programs be contacted?
It should be starting around mid-October. So for the initial 22 programs that have been selected, we'll be recruiting on an ongoing basis. And as the timeline showed, it could be across the next year. So if we do need a program declines and we need to select and ask another program, it could be an ongoing basis.
And then just to clarify, that letter will go out via email, right?
Yeah.
And then there'll be a follow-up phone call.
Correct. The letter will be coming from a Mathematica email address to the Head Start program director. And as Michelle notes, we'll follow up about a week or two later with a phone call from a person from Mathematica along with our work group partner.
And I guess just to underscore a couple of things too, that participation by the program, as well as if the program agrees and if once the tribal approval is in place to begin study activities, by your program agreeing to be in the study and by your tribal community providing approval for your program to be in the study, you're not committing or obligating any of the children and families to take part. It still remains optional for them, as well as any staff, Head Start staff who would be surveyed. In AIAN PACES 2015, 2016, we did have really high response rates, though, from children and families, as well as staff who were approached, but it was made clear that it was voluntary. And also, I think to highlight, as Lisa shared, certainly in the restricted use data set, tribal community identities, tribal program identities, and of course the identities of any individuals who take part in the study, that is all masked and kept private and confidential. And so just to share that piece as well. If your program were selected and decided to participate, you would not be identified as a participant in the study. And that same is true if you were to look at any of the findings for AIAN PACES 2015. The participating programs are not identified, again, just to add that layer of privacy and confidentiality protections for individuals, programs, and tribal communities.
Lisa, I think this is for you, and I will read it out. So the question is, if we have participated before, will we be in the random selection process again?
Yes, to be representative of Region 11 in the current program year, everyone is eligible. It doesn't matter if you participated in the past. It's all Region 11 programs are eligible to be in the random selection.
But it doesn't necessarily guarantee it, right? It's a totally
Correct.
new random selection, and programs that participated before may or may not be selected again.
Correct.
Okay.
You're not excluded.
We have not gotten any other questions in. I encourage if anyone has a burning question now to type it in, or you can follow up via email with either myself, Laura, or Lisa, and we can answer any questions.
Well, I just wanted to, this is Michelle again, I just wanted to reiterate the thanks we shared earlier to the 21 programs that took part in AIAN PACES 2015. Again, we just want to thank you so much for the time and effort and work that you put into making AIAN PACES 2015 a success, and again, the foundation for this work that's going to start in very soon. And to thank those of you who may receive a letter in advance for considering your own participation in AIAN PACES 2019.
Yes, definitely. We have national data in Region 11 and hope to continue to grow that picture over time with 2019. And if you do get that letter again, there will be information via phone call coming up, and those folks contacting you can also answer any questions you may have should you be selected. And we really hope that you will participate in AIAN PACES 2019 to keep building our knowledge of Region 11.